Sanders condemns shooting. But look what we dug up from vicious 2016 campaign. Though much of the violence that erupted at some of President Donald Trump's election campaign rallies last year was later traced to leftist activists, then Democrat primary candidate Bernie Sanders nevertheless blamed the businessman candidate for all of it. Trump should tone down his rhetoric and condemn the violence of some of his supporters, the Vermont senator tweeted in March of 2016 after one of the GOP candidate's supporters lost his cool on a liberal activist protester and sucker punched him in the face. It was later learned from an undercover investigation by James O'Keefe's project Veritas that several liberal political action committees had purposefully planned to provoke Trump supporters to violence so as to make Republicans look bad. Take a look at Sanders' tweet from 2016 below. That's a fine sentiment, but the fact is, no matter what pieties Sanders preached, he and the Democrat Party have done precious little to live up to it, either during the heated days of the presidential campaign or in the months since Trump's surprise upset over Hillary Clinton in November. From the weeks leading up to Trump's inauguration, to Inauguration Day itself, and in all the time since, leftists who call themselves the resistance have wreaked havoc in American political and social life. It is conservatives and Trump supporters who have been violently, physically attacked by liberals, without a word of condemnation from the Democrat Party's leaders. In light of all that, Sanders' advice to Trump hasn't aged well at all. Now, fast forward to Wednesday, when a deranged liberal activist opened fire on a group of Republican congressmen and staff practicing in Alexandria, Virginia, for an upcoming baseball game with their Democrat peers. Even after indisputable evidence surfaced showing that shooter James T. Hodgkinson had been a rabid Sanders supporter who did volunteer work in Sanders' election campaign, the Vermont senator was giving himself an outlet he would have denied Trump last year. He even tried to cast down on the gunman's support. "I have just been informed that the alleged shooter at the Republican baseball practice is someone who apparently volunteered on my presidential campaign," he said. "I am sickened by this despicable act. Let me be as clear as I can be, violence of any kind is unacceptable in our society and I condemn this action in the strongest possible terms." Wrong, Mr. Sanders. Hodgkinson was not apparently a volunteer on your election campaign. He was a volunteer, period. And while you deserve zero blame for his hideous actions, it would have been nice had you followed the advice you gave Trump last year and urged your own supporters to calm their rhetoric. I mean, this is the second time that one of your supporters has lost his cool. The last time this happened, 2 people wound up dead. Correction, it would be nice if you and all your peers would start calling out the violent rhetoric and actions of your own base, just like you demanded Trump do in the heat of the 2016 campaign. As noted by Red Alert Politics contributor Siraj Hashmi, he left and groups like Antifa have, increasingly, been using violent tactics against Republicans and conservatives, and calling everyone who disagrees with them a Nazi or white supremacist to justify their violent behavior. Anyone who would dare blame Sanders personally for Hodgkinson's actions is a fool, of course. But so is anyone who denies that it's time for the left to take a close look in the mirror. Please share this story on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think about the way Bernie Sanders responded to Wednesday's shooting.